Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Monster. Last time. Ooh. Last time we have Grimmer / Steiner. We have Tenma. We have Nina. We have Johan / Anna. We have our good policeman Suk. Let's see what happens next, shall we? And we have Bonaparte, the dude named after Napoleon, for whatever reason, right? Who had some hand to play into Nina's and Johan's past. I had some crazy ass theories as to Johan and why Nina is seeing herself as she goes through the door. I might be wrong. I might be right. We'll see. Let's get into it. Episode 48. The most frightening thing.
Nina. この階段を引きずられるように連れて行かれた。誰が？お兄ちゃん。
そう。
Dragged down the stairs.
赤いバラの屋敷の男と呼ばれていた。その男の名はフランツ・ボナパルタ。
フランツ・ボナパルタ。
ただ本名かどうかはわからない。彼にはペンネームもあったからな。
ペンネーム？
彼は絵本作家でもあったんだよ。
私この中で絵本を読んでいて、このドアを開けて誰かが帰ってきた。
絵本？ああ、奇妙な絵本だったよ。名前のない怪物とかいう。
何もないよ、ニナ。
She has like a shocking moment right now.
私はここで絵本を読んでいたはずなのに。でもドアを開けて帰ってきたのは
Was me.
私を迎えている。おかえり。
I'm really curious because when she says like her brother got dragged away, that means it can't be Johan, right? I missed this. In case you don't know, it's been a while. as per usual.
ヤンスークさんのお母さん？ああ、スークさんなら409号室ですけど。
And that's Johan, I guess.
記憶が戻ったり、すっかり忘れてしまったり。今日はどうかしら。
He knows where to search, I guess. I do wonder why we're not being shown her face.
いや、あら、綺麗な子。ヤンのお友達。
はい。
綺麗なお花。
そこに生けておきますね。
オルガおばさんに取られないようにしなくちゃ。 オルガおばさんたらいつも私のものを横取りするの。昨日だって私のお人形持ってっちゃったの。
意地悪な人ですね。でもおばさんは10年以上前に亡くなったんですよね。
ああ、そうね。あなたよく知ってるわね。
ヤンからいろいろ聞いてます。
そう。ヤンはまだ学校？
いいえ。
ああ、そうか。もう卒業して刑事に。
大丈夫。ヤンは無事です。心配いらないわ。
あなたってとっても優しい目をしてるのね。
何でも話してください。いろんな思い出話。
そうね。お隣のカテリーナはとってもおしゃれなの。それでね、カテリーナあ、楽しい。こんな楽しいのは久しぶり。
よかった。
あなたに何かお礼をしなくっちゃ。
お礼なんて。私はただあなたがヤンから預かっているものを見せてもらおうと思って。
預かっているもの？
カセットテープ。
ああ、それならそこに。
He always gets what he wants, huh?
スークの母親に託していたとはな。君らがカセットテープと資料を取りに行く間、ここで待たせてもらうよ。
ただしビジネスは忘れる。それが約束だ。行こう、ドクターテンマ。
I do wonder if they meet her.
あんたには無関係だなんて言って悪かった。さっき聞かされたあんたのこの10年間の話、なんとも言葉にしようがない。だがあのカセットテープが糸口になって全貌が明らかになれば、あんたの無実は晴れるかもしれない。
グリマーさん、あなただって。
確かに俺も511キンダーハイムが何だったのか調べ続けていた。だがな、全てが分かっても俺の人生に変わりはないよ。
It's closure, though.
スークさんのお母さんにご面会ですか？今日はとても調子がいいようですよ。
どうも。
先ほど面会にいらした方とのお話がとても良かったみたい。
面会？誰ですか？
そう、金髪のロングヘアのとても美しい。
テープが。
来てくれたのね。もうすぐあなたたちが来るって聞かされたわ。
テープは？
テープならここよ。
It's the wrong tape, I think.
ヤンはどうしているの？
彼は今。
ヤンの病院に連れて行って。ヤンは大変な目に遭ってるんでしょ？私は今頭の中がとてもはっきりしているわ。さっき来た人が呼び覚ましてくれたの。でも今日だけかもしれない。ヤンに合わせて。
お連れしましょう。ヤン・スークのいる病院へ。
グリマーさん。
秘密警察との話はついた。
母さん。
ヤン、どうして私を呼んでくれなかったの？
大したことないよ、母さん。
あなたまた私を心配させまいとしたのね。あの時と同じだわ。
あの時。
9歳の時、あなた木から落ちたでしょう。 私が心配してるのに、あなた何でもない、平気だよって歩いていた。ひどい捻挫してたのに。はあ、神様、この子を忘れさせないで。ヤンは私の子。いろんなことが記憶から消えても、どうか神様、ヤンのことだけは忘れさせないで。
Really hard losing your memory.
君が一番怖いものは何？
僕の中の怪物がどんどん大きくなる。バリバリ、ぐしゃぐしゃ、バキバキ、ゴクン。バリバリ、ぐしゃぐしゃ、バキバキ、ゴクン。
もう十分だ。これ以上聞きたくない。
いや、あなたは聞くべきだ。あなたが511キンダーハイムに送り込んだ甥も、この薬物投与されて尋問されている子も同じだ。あなたの甥が何をされたか知るべきだ。俺も先日ここまでは聞いた。俺たちはこの先を聞かなくてはいけない。この先を。
僕が一番怖いもの、それはね、アンナを忘れてしまうこと。毎日毎日おかしな授業で記憶がなくなっていくんだ。
My memories are disappearing.
アンナを忘れさせないで。世界にはアンナと僕二人だけなんだ。この記憶だけはお願い。お願い。
聞かせてあげられるのはここまでだよ。
なんだ、若い男の声だ。
まさか古い録音を消して
やっとわかったんだ。
新しく上から録音を。
このテープを聞いてやっとわかったんだ。
スークの母親に面会に来た誰かが録音したのか。ドクター・テンマー。現在のヨハンの声だ。
僕がどこへ行くべきかやっとわかったよ、ドクター・テンマ。
And always roping Tenma in. I mean, he knows, right?
あの仕事一筋の人が信じられんよ。
入局以来初めての長期休暇だってよ。
まあ最近じゃ特に忙しいわけじゃなかったようだしね。連邦捜査局きってのエリートだったのにやりすぎたんだよ。
Ooh, Lunga. Lunga.
おかげで奥さんと娘さんにも逃げられたってさ。
And yeah, somebody said he's on paid leave, yeah.
チェコのプラハとか言ってたけど、休み方知ってる？
Of course he's in fucking Prague. Holy hell.
ご注文は？
コーヒ
はい。
ー。いや、今は休暇中か。ビールを。
Okay. Bro drinks beer, what? I mean, I guess maybe his alibi. I don't know.
このビールの銘柄は？
地元のプラズドロイです。
こんな調査報告書で世間が納得すると思っているのか。スーク刑事の行方もつかめていないのに 旧チェコスロバキア秘密警察とのつながりまで生半可な調査結果を発表してみろ。マスコミのいい餌食だ。
しかし関係者が皆死亡してしまった今では。
死んだ人間に全て罪を着せて終わりにできるほどチェコ警察とプラハ署の置かれている状況は甘くないぞ。はい。分かったらさっさと捜査を続行しろ。
He seems to be serious about this stuff.
早急にだ。
はい。失礼。所長に面会したいという方が。
アポイントメントのない人間には会わん。第一、今それどころじゃない。
しかし、
あなたは。いや、驚きましたよ、ルンゲ警部。一昨年のインターポールの会議以来ですね。
Ooh, they know each other, okay.
文化会のセミナーであなたがされた講義、実に興味深かった。
忙しいところ、急にすまなかった。
いや、休暇でこちらにいらしていたとは、羨ましい限りです。今の私の状況では休暇もろくに。
いろいろと大変そうだね、ネペラ新所長。
ええ、できればあなたにいろいろご教授願いたいくらいです。何しろ事件は混沌を極めてましてね。ここプラハ署と旧チェコスロバキア秘密警察とのつながり。事の起こりはゼマンという警部が旧秘密警察の残党とともに死体で発見されたところから始まります。ゼマン警部はその時、
I don't know we're telling the story.
経営者殺害事件の捜査を行っていた。後で分かったことですが、ゼマンもその殺害された養護院経営者も以前から秘密警察とつながっていたのです。
その事件の容疑者は
グリマーという第一発見者が容疑者として浮かんでいるのですが、養護施設の子供たちは別の人間が事件直後立ち去るのを目撃しています。
別の人間？
金髪の美女。しかし事件はそれだけでは済まなかった。さらに広がり、この署の前任の所長とベテラン刑事2名が毒入りのキャンディーで殺害された。
Poison candy.
また旧チェコスロバキア秘密警察の関係者だった。
毒殺事件の容疑者は
ゼマン警部の直属の部下でスークという若い刑事です。
確証は？
確証はありませんでした。しかしスークを監視していた特別専任チームの刑事2人がスークの部屋で射殺体で発見された。
なるほど。で、そのスーク刑事は
現在行方不明です。
状況証拠は全てスークを指しているが、彼には十分な動機がない。
はあ。
彼にはそこまでの犯行を犯す匂いがない。
はあ、はい。どうしてそれを？
よく似た事例を知っているものでね。
さすがだ。休暇中とはいえ、その手はちゃんと動いていらっしゃる。客観的なデータの蓄積でしたね。そしてまたあなたは講義でこうもおっしゃった。そのデータをもとに今度は逆に完全な主観で操作する。言い換えれば犯人になりきるでしたね。どうでしょ
う。So that's a specialty, I guess.
彼は何を考え、今どこに？
申し訳ないが、あいにくと私は休暇中でね。
あ、いや、こちらこそ申し訳ない。どうですか、プラハの街は？
もっぱら古本屋巡りです。
古本屋？何かお探しで
？13軒探して歩きましてね。やっと一冊見つけました。実は今日伺ったのは、お暇の時にこのチェコ語の文章をドイツ語に翻訳していただけないかと。
Yes, a book.
おお、絵本ですか。驚いたな。あなたにこんなご趣味があるとは。お預けいただければ明日までに部下にやらせます。お子さん、いやお孫さんにですか？
ええ、まあそんなところです。
He's still on the case, my dude.
スークは絶対に無実です。僕は友人として絶対に彼が潔白だと信じています。警察には根掘り葉掘り聞かれましたけど、あいつにはやましいことなんかこれっぽっちもないんだ。警察関係の方ならあいつを助けてやってください。 そのためなら僕らいくらでも協力します。
あいにくと私は今休暇中でね、大した力にはなれないが、彼が他に心を許している人物は？
彼女ができかけてたんですけどね。まだやっと名前を聞き出した程度で、なんて言ったっけ？アンナ。ああ、そうだ、アンナ・リーベルト。金髪のとびきりの美人でね、うまくいきそうだってあいつ喜んでたのに。
アンナ・リーベルト、10年前東ドイツから亡命した高官の一家殺人事件で生き残った双子の一人。
It's all kind of weird, right? Look, it's all kind of weird. I mean, he's probably gonna find a way to pin Tenma anyway.
エミル・シェーベの名前のない怪物は確かにうちの出版物ですけど、何しろ旧体制の頃といえばまだ先代の社長の時代ですからね。
エミル・シェーベというのはペンネームかね？
ええ、多分そうです。
Sherbe means
いくつかペンネームがあって、
like
なんとかボナパルタ、それにヤコブ・ファロベック、クラウス・ポッペとか。
クラウス・ポッペの箱ならここにあるんだがね。
よく見つけましたね。
Sherbe means shard, right? Like a broken shard of a window or
ど
something.
うせ古いラフスケッチか何かの山でしょう。
Or after you've broken a table, like a shard of that, right? That's a Sherbe, traditionally. Ooh, a witch? Looks kind of like the same style. Oh yeah, that is Johan's mother, probably.
子供が生まれた。女の子。
And a boy.
双子。
A girl and a boy.
そうですか。翻訳していただけましたか。感謝します、ネペラ所長。あ、ちょっと気になっていたので先に伺いますが、最後のページの文章だけ先に読んでいただけませんか。
ですね。せっかく名前がついたのに、誰も名前を呼んでくれる人はいなくなりました。ヨハン、素敵な名前なのに、奇妙な絵本ですな。
ヨハン。
文下警部、夕食でもご一緒にいかがですか。休暇はいつまで取られるご予定で。
君。
はい。
ビールはやめてコーヒーにしてくれ。長い休暇になりそうです。
I think it'll be a long vacation. Hopefully it will not be your eternal vacation, Luna. Alright. Alright. Obviously not watching the previews because that would be spoilers. Let's rewind it all and see what we can gather. Alright, so we have a little bit of a recap of what happened, and she's like asking herself, why is she welcoming herself home? Still no idea what that mystery is all about, aside from my original theory, but you know. Johan getting the better of them, obviously. And I was kind of a little bit surprised that the grandma wasn't like calling out Johan's fakeness, because sometimes you have that trope of like old, confused-ish people, right? Or young children being able to immediately point out if somebody's kind of weird or fake. But I guess like Johan is like a master manipulator. He is really good at mimicking human emotion. We don't even know if he maybe does have that empathy and just right does go beyond it, right? Doesn't care about it because he wants to fulfill his own goals, can turn it off. Maybe that's a thing, right? But he is getting what he wants. Very interesting how he starts talking to her and just roping her in, letting her just like talk freely, and after a long while she's like, I just saying that almost naturally, like I I wanted to see that tape. And then I was like, wait, the tape is here? Oh, they got the tape, but yeah, he talked over it, of course. He's like, okay, I know you're gonna look that up, Tenma. Until that time, I'm actually gonna let you listen. But now I'm gonna message you. I'm gonna be like, I know, I finally know what I want to do, right? Taunting almost again, once again. Because he knows they're behind, like they're on his tail, so. Right. We have our deal. I do like how we constantly change shots to make it interesting. It's a really cool, like there's a really cool aspect in that. The two of them looking at each other being like, wait, a visitor? And them running. How do they actually show them running? No, it's a normal just run. Tilted angle, nice, right? We create that sense of unease as we just move in here, and it's like just normal, and we just calm down. We're like, okay, that's fine. Everything seems to be in place, everything seems to be in order. Suk actually looks fucking as if he's almost dying, so bro, I hope you're doing okay, right? Like especially like the malnourished lips kind of deal. I did like this shot. That was a very nice shot, right? With her in the frame and her like being the major theme, and then them around, right? Him on the one side and like Tenma and Grimmer on the other side. Where it's like, and we start the theme with "Please don't let me forget about my son. That's the most important thing." And then we continue this theme into "Please don't let me forget about Anna. That's my most important thing" for Johan, right? Showing that there is somebody he cares about. Albeit probably not in the usual sense that somebody cares about somebody. Certainly something different. Tenma being shooketh as always by the voice, and we do have the direct message. I finally understand where I need to go, Dr. Tenma. And he's directly speaking to Tenma once again. Lunge actually going in. I love that where we peek through, like the through the door, basically. It's just like a slit in the door, and it's like, oh, there's this chair, it's Lunge's place, it's empty, and he's on long vacation, right? And then we're like, oh, who knew he was gonna go to Prague? And then we see like a beautiful, beautiful cityscape with like the dome in the back and all of like the higher up buildings and the bridge, which is absolutely gorgeous as a picture. I think we haven't seen that picture of Prague yet. And him just going across, like taking in the scenery, right? Pretending to be on vacation as he's supposed to. I didn't know he drank, right? I mean, obviously, German beer, okay, makes sense, but I didn't know he was that type of person. I would have thought that he was more that kind of person who's like, I never drink, right? I get my coffee, I never drink beer, whatever. But I don't think it's ever going to be a problem for him, but who knows? And this guy seems to be serious. He seems to be like, we need to get ahead of this shit. I don't want any like platitudes. I want this to be cleared up completely so the police has their reputation back, so they can be like, okay, we investigated everything, right? This is the facts, which is really great. And Lunge knowing him, really cool. Just peek through, right? And he's just like going in. And then pan over to coffee, which is immediately like, yeah, we sat down to talk. We established a shot, which is great again, right? Like looking at the window, which is behind the two of them, right? Slowly moving along, taking the shadows with us, right? Having an object in the front, which is also very, like, it's something for the eyes, right? Shot, reverse shot. The chair kind of sitting between the two of them is also really cool. It's kind of showing you how it works with the conversation. And you also see the posture of both of them, right? He is in front, right? More like almost servitude-like, but not really, but more like, hey, accommodating. and very interested and being like a host. And Lunge is more like sitting back. He's a little bit more defensive, but he's also like in control basically, and he's looking down on him. Not in the literal sense, in the sense of like thinking lesser of him, but more in the sense of just like he's the one who wants something, basically. Or rather, like in this case, like actually the director wants something and Lunge is listening, but Lunge is the one who is kind of like spying out the information, trying to get something. Obviously, the director thinks like, or the, I don't know, president of the police force there, he thinks that Lunge is here on a vacation, but Lunge is like, I might get some information out of all of this. And then we see he's got the picture book. I think he had it before, right? Like, or he had like the hint as to the picture book before. I don't 100% remember though. So he found what he was looking for, and he wants it translated because he wants to match it with like the with the stuff that Johann kept writing in his like during his like murders and whatnot. This is such a unique art style too. And again, he constantly gets what he wants. Anna Liebert, all of these things kind of trigger him. He's like, wait, Anna Liebert, wait, Johann, wait, Candy, right? Like all of these details are eerily familiar to everything. But obviously he can still spin it in a way to be like, okay, that's Tenma pretending to be Johann, right? Or having Johann personality, whatever, right? Like that was his original theory. I don't know if that's the case, because the more he sees, actually, the more he finds that these twins actually existed, and they kind of look like the pictures that we've seen, like supposedly being Johann and whatnot, right? So how deep does the rabbit hole go, and does Lunge follow it without being distracted by Tenma? Even though he now had a name, there was no one left to call him by his name. Johann. It is a wonderful name. And no one left to call him by that name. Coffee instead of beer. And then we have like the fisheye shot with the shiny desk on the left side, which is really cool. And everything is revolving around him, right? And everything's getting serious. And he's like, it's gotta be a long vacation. All right, boys and girls. Let's get ourselves into the next episode, right? Because that's what we want to do. All right, episode 49 of Monster is gonna start any second now. 3, 2, 1, boom. Yes, orphanage.
次やったら本当に食事抜きよ。わかった、ミローシュ。はーい。
He's not impressed.
はーい。本当かよ。本当だよ。あの金髪の女だった。その女をドミニカン通りで見たんだな。
They're investigating.
どうして最後まで追いかけなかったんだよ。だって腹減ってグーグー言ってたんだもん。こうなったら俺たちがあの女の居場所を突き止めて警察に突き出してやろうぜ。グリマーさんは院長を殺してなんかないって無実を証明するんだ。無実の証明？そしたらグリマーさん助かるわけ？そうだよ。今から作戦会議だ。ミローシュ、早く飯食っちゃえよ。
Ooh, he met her. But was it Nina or was it Anna? That's the question. He might be in trouble if it's Johann.
ここが最初に事件が起こったモグリの養護院だ。511キンダーハイムの元院長が何者かに殺された。子供たちは事件直後金髪の女とすれ違ったと言っている。彼はここでまた実験を繰り返していた。511キンダーハイムとは全く逆の 子供たちに愛情をかける実験だそうだ。どうする？中に入ってみるかい？警察が証拠品を持っていった後だろうがね。
グリマーさん、あれは？
ん？
警察のおじさんへ、グリマーさんは無実です。刑事さんへ、金髪の女が犯人です。
あの子たちだ。ここの養護院の子供たちが戻ってきてはったんだ。グリマーさんへ。
ミラン・ボーチェク、有名なサッカー選手のカード。子供たちにとっては宝物ですよ。
どう反応すればいい？こういう場合、どういう顔をすればいい？俺は511チキンダーハイムで喜怒哀楽を奪われた。その後、いろいろな感情表現を奇妙な学校で学ばされたが、こういう場合が一番難しい。どういう反応が正しいんだ？
その子供たちに会いに行ったらどうですか？
あなたがグリマーさん？子供たちからいつもあなたのお話聞いていますわ。あの子たち遊びに行ったまままだ戻りませんの。
Of course they have.
早く帰ってくればいいのに。ほら、ご覧になって。あの子たちの日記。というより、あなたへの手紙みたいなものがいっぱい。グリマーさん、またサッカーやろうね。グリマーさんはサッカー下手くそだから教えてあげる。グリマーさん、またみんなで遊ぼうね。
The same smile on his face.
今、笑っているだろう。これは学んだものだ。笑っている顔の形を学んだものだ。俺が人の記憶に残っているなんて。なぜあの子たちは俺のことを思っているんだ。
So you were nice to them.
それはみんなあなたのことが好きだから。
俺は以前、自分の子供の死んでいくときにどんな反応をすればいいのか考えてた。この場合は泣けばいいのか、どのぐらい泣けばいい、叫び声を上げればいいのか、歯を食いしばるのか、今でもどうしたらいいかわからない。
There's no should.
わからないんだ。
Let me just, I don't do that often, but let me interrupt for a second. There's no should here, right? Like everybody feels emotions differently. I understand that his struggle is with feeling anything at all, which is very tragic, right? But I guess in many ways, this is also just a defensive mechanism, right? He got taught not to feel these emotions, right? They weren't just like taken away from him in a sense that he was made unable to feel emotion. It's more like he got socialized out of them, right? Because like it's natural for us to feel emotions: anger, frustration, sadness, joy as well, right? Like these emotions exist and they will for most of us, right? But with trauma, we do lock them away, right? Oftentimes. And obviously there's people who don't feel emotions as strongly, right? Especially the social emotions. There are people of social issues, they're not necessarily unemotional. For them, it's more like it's really hard to have these social emotions of community, right? Like that genuine friendliness with one another, that genuine like warmth going to somebody else, right? Or from somebody else, right? Reading those in other people, right? Some people have difficulties reading them in other people. Some people have difficulties expressing them themselves, right? There's various psychological issues where people can't properly express their emotions, even though they exist on the inside. And obviously, there's also cases like him where it's really hard to get in touch with your own emotions. Doesn't mean they don't exist. Doesn't mean there's not not anything he thinks about it or feels about it, but it's very hard for him to actually self-reflect on that and see, right, and like show them in the moment, because grew up very in a very harsh environment, almost indoctrinated to a certain degree, right? So, but to say like, what should I feel, right? That's more like a, what does the average person feel? It doesn't mean that you yourself do feel that always, and if you don't, you're not a normal human being. Oftentimes, it's just like, it's the same with like somebody dying that's close to you. It's not always going to be like tears and sadness and whatnot. Sometimes you just feel empty. Sometimes you don't know what to feel, right? It just feels weird. And right, it can feel that way a couple of like for a good period of time before it maybe breaks out of you. And it's the weirdest things that people say, the weirdest things that happen to you that kind of lure that out of you, right? And suddenly you're, what the fuck? Why am I crying right now? But it's natural. I think it's really nice. It shows Grimmer's character that he is trying to get in touch with his emotions as like a way to compensate, as a way to grow as a human being, to be like more integrated in society, I guess, on a social level, but also to kind of try to explore himself as like his raw self before he was damaged, if you wanna call it that.
やあ、アントニー。
グリマーさん、大変だ。
どうしたアントニー。
チェス系養護院の連中から連絡があって、大変なことに。
落ち着け、アントニー。落ち着いて話せ。
あの金髪の女を見つけたんだ。昨日みんなで居場所を見つけようって見張ってた。そしたらミローシュがいなくなっちゃったんだ。
Damn. Yeah.
なるほど。このところあなたのもとに面会にやってきた人物というのは、中年の紳士と長身のドイツ人と長髪の日本人。
ええ。
ところであなた、もう一人面会に来た人忘れてらっしゃる。看護師に聞いたところでは、ブロンドで長髪の女性が来ているはずなんですが。
女性？いえ、女性なんて来てないわ。
Okay.
看護師の記憶は確かでしたよ。とても美しい顔の。
ええ、とても綺麗な。でも、あの人は男よ。
She knows all the shit she knows. She knows.
名前は？
ミローシュ。
あなたとはどこかで会ったことある？
え？うん。
あそこで何してたの？
別に。
あなた、よくこの辺りを歩き回ってるわね。
うん。
誰を探してるの？
母さん。
そんなところに立ってないで座ったら？ジュースもあるわ。
引っ越しするの？
なんで？
だって大きなバッグあるし、この部屋何にもないし。
お母さん、この辺りにいるの？
え？
あなた、お母さんを探してるって言ったじゃない。
うん。でもこの辺にいるかどうかはわからない。
じゃあどうやって探すの？写真か何かあるの？
ないよ。
じゃあ顔がわからないじゃない。
わかるよ。母さんの顔見ればわかるよ。養護院の誰も信じないけど、みんなわかるもんかって言うけど、でも僕、母さんを見ればわかる。それに母さんだって僕を見ればわかる。
あなたを見つけてもわからないふりしたとしたら？
talking about his own one.
あなたはなぜ捨てられたの
Bro's just putting the doomer into every fucking kid.
あなたが嫌いだから捨てたんじゃないの違う別に普通のことじゃないのよ生まれてきたことはこの宇宙のほとんどが死なんだからこの宇宙にとっては地球の片隅で生まれた命なんて存在自体ほんの一瞬にもならないわ死が普通なのじゃあなぜ生きるの誰かに望まれたからあなたは誰に望まれたのあなたが生きる理由って何
I do wonder if he's looking for his own reason to live, right? Or if he just wants to destroy that kid.
この近くに住んでいるんですか？
確か次の角の袋小路の奥のアパートメントだと思うよ。いや、あの子は実にいい子だ。気立てが良くていつも挨拶を忘れないし。
あんな？あの子はいい子よ。いつも笑顔で声をかけてくれてね。
何階のどの部屋かわかりますか？
あそこよ。3階のあの窓。
I think she's already gone.
本当なら、そしてミローシュがその女にさらわれたというのが事実なら、ここに住んでいるアンナというのがその女なら。
そして、
Tenma's on the case.
私の思っている人物なら、今ここで全てが終わる。
Told you. Already gone.
逃げられたか。
Always gone.
ミローシュはどこへ行ったんだ？いや、囚われたのか。俺の無実を晴らそうと、その金髪の女を追って。どうすればいい？ドクター・テンマー。こういう場合はどういう反応をすればいいんだ？子供たちが俺の無実を晴らそうとして事件に巻き込まれた。
あの子たち言ってましたね。ミローシュは普段から母親を探してプラハの街を歩き回っていた。
Ooh, so he was actually telling the truth.
母親に会いたいか。俺は自分の子供が死んでも何も感じなかった。ある日、新聞社に勤めていた俺に同僚の女が声をかけてきた。俺のことが好きだって。俺は結婚した。スパイ活動をするには結婚していた方が怪しまれないって教えられてたから。彼女は妊娠した。そして男の子が生まれた。あの日、妻は近くに買い物に出てた。俺が子供の部屋に入った時にはあの子は突っ伏したまま息をしていなかった。俺は人工呼吸を施し、同時に医者に連絡した。やるべきことは全てやった。滞りなくね。だがあの子はそのまま死んだ。
What did he die of?
葬式の時、妻は俺を罵倒した。なんでそんな風に冷静でいられるの？なんで泣かずにいられるの？あなたはずっとそうだった。私に対してもそうだった。あなたは人を愛せないのよ。あなたの心の中には何もないのよ。そして妻は出て行った。ミローシュを探さなきゃ。
ミローシュはチェコの国境近くにある娼婦街の売春婦の子供だって言ってましたね。
ああ。
ここにいた人物が私の思っている人物なら少年を生かしておくとは思えません。でもただ殺すようなこともしない。私が思っている人物ならその子にとって一番残酷なことをしてから殺すでしょう。
Yeah, I'm afraid.
その途中に母さんがいるの？
この先に賑やかな場所があるわ。
母さんに会えるんだね。
私はここで待ってる。一人で行きなさい。あなたはお母さんを見ればわかる。そしてお母さんもあなたを見ればわかる。でも誰もあなたに声をかけてこなかったら、あなたは誰にも望まれてなかったってことになるわ。そしたらあなたはどうするの？どうするの？行きなさい。
It's almost like he wants to see what they do.
母さん。
残酷か。
Red Light District, huh?
なんだい坊や。
探してるんだ。
探してる？誰？
母さん。
母さんか。こりゃいいや。
なんでおかしいの？
いや、知ってるよ。坊やの母さん。
どこにいるの？
そうさな。俺が知ってるだけでここにはざっと50人はいるかな。
あなたはなぜ捨てられたの？
あら、坊や。おばさん誰？
いいの。
僕は母さんを。
いいからこのまま抱きしめさせて。
どうしたんだいその子。
まさかあんたの子じゃないだろうね。
まさか。私はそんなヘマしないよ。
病気は移されるけどね。
うるさいね。やんのかいこら。
何すんのよ。話せよ。
ちょっとやだよ。こんなとこじゃ。
金は払った。私は客だ。客の言う通りにしろ。
だってちょっと。子供が見てるよ。
待て。見ていてくれ。逃げないでくれ。私はドイツで教師をやっている。学校では父兄にもすこぶる評判がいい紳士的で素敵な先生だ。素敵な先生なんだよ。
It's like, what the fuck, mister?
あなたは誰に望まれたの？
坊や、お金。おばさん病気なの？
もうすぐ死ぬのよ。
どうしてここにいるの？
だから言ってるでしょ、もうすぐ死ぬからよ。
お金ちょうだい。僕これだけしかないよ。
この宇宙のほとんどが死なんだから。あなたは誰に望まれたの？あなたが生きる理由って何？
そうか。そうだったんだ。
この辺りで娼婦街は終わりです。
街中でミローシを見かけた人間は何人もいたんだ。
引き返しましょうか。まだ中にいるのかもしれない。
ミローシ
Hmm.
ミローシ大丈夫大丈夫だ。オッケー。さあこっちへおいで。俺のために、俺の無実を晴らすために一生懸命やってくれたんだろう。もう大丈夫だ。おいで。大丈夫大丈夫だ。こんな感じでいいのかな、ドクター天馬。泣いた方がいいのかな。こんな難しい感情教わってないよ。どうしたミローシュ。お前が何を見てきたか、お前が何を見てしまったか、何を知ってしまったか。ミローシュ、聞いてくれ。お前には母さんがいない。だがな、お前が生まれてきたのには意味がある。お前は誰かに望まれて生まれてきたんだから。絶対誰かに望まれて。
I think he's talking to himself.
絶対に。ドクターテンパ、俺の言ってること間違ってないよな。俺今どんな顔してる？
泣いています。
An interesting episode. Like I have some thoughts on that. On the child part of it. I'm like, I wasn't fully buying it, you know. I mean, I thought it was a little bit over traumatized. But we'll talk about it in discussion. All right. All right. Alright. To get this out of my head, I'm actually gonna not go, I'm not gonna go at this chronologically. So here's what I don't buy. Okay? Here's what I don't buy. Milos here is a bright boy, right? Like, I'm maybe not smart, but, you know, like normal intelligence, young kid, impressionable, of course, but bright and upbeat and optimistic, right? Optimistic. He's laughing, he's like really excited about maybe one day meeting his mom and whatnot. And yes, Johan has been talking a lot of shit to him about, like, nobody wanted you and whatnot. I don't think that I'm not buying the angle we're going for here, which is like, yeah, you can kind of doom talk somebody into actually feeling absolutely worthless and crap, and seeing shit. Like, Johan got him to see shit that probably wasn't for his eyes. I mean, like the less innocent part of the world, right? And in many ways also just like, in a way, stealing this kid's innocence, despite the kid probably having a bunch of trauma himself. You don't know, right? Because he's an orphan, right? He might as well just have been found pretty early, or given away at the door of the orphanage or whatever, right? The old school style. If you don't want a kid, like, just leave it at the doors of the orphanage or whatever. I don't know how many people actually did that back in the day. Yeah. Like, I don't know if he experienced poverty or other kinds of trauma, but at the very least, he was bright and upbeat and whatnot. First of all, I don't think you can put him into the state of absolute just nihilism and suicidality to that point. I also don't think that it would be happening in the way it happened. Nothing I heard Johan say, and nothing I saw Milos witness with his own eyes would make me believe that he would be so cold and dead fish in his emotions and absolutely just traumatized that he would make a conscious decision to jump off a bridge, which it seems very dramatic to me. What I would expect a Milos, for example, to react like is be distraught, be sad and unhappy, start crying, start breaking down, right, on the street, just not knowing where to go and what to do, maybe hurting himself as well, right? I would expect that. But I wouldn't expect there to be a concrete, like, I'm going to step on that bridge and then I'm going to jump, right? Stuff like that. Or him being like so I guess angry and done with the world that he squashes that butterfly under, or that moth, or whatever you want to call it, underneath his foot, right? I mean, obviously maybe that would have been a response to that can be a response of a child to certain trauma, and even young children can hurt animals in sadistic ways, but that is not the image of somebody who feels like his life is meaningless, or like his mother didn't want him, or his mother doesn't exist, or whatever, right? Like, it's not connecting with me on an emotional level. It's not, but because the way it's being displayed makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me personally, and maybe other people feel differently about that. I do feel differently about a couple of love the shots, by the way. I do feel differently about a couple of the elements of the series. For example, Grimmer's outbreak and his like crying and whatnot. I find that 100% believable. I find that moment really nice, and I think it's a great character moment for him. But Milos himself is, yeah, I don't know. For especially like the way he says that, he's like, so data, right? Like, he's like, oh, it's like this, right? Like, the world is like this, huh? This is how it really is, right? I wouldn't expect a child to be articulating themselves like this, right? Or be thinking along those lines like this, right? There's a lot to be said about how the world can be cruel, right? And how we're running headfirst into that cruelty. But I don't know how old Milos is here, but it feels like the way he expresses himself in the beginning, looking for his mom, whatever, he can't be more than, I don't know, 7, 8, right? Maybe he's even younger, but he feels like 7, 8, maybe 10 maximum, right? Especially since he's so innocent when it comes to like red light district and like the like the big displays with the nudity and whatnot. So there's like no understanding of him of what that is, right? So if he was 10 or older, I would assume he had some rudimentary understanding of that. Just through osmosis, right? Just through like cultural osmosis of getting to know what that is, right? Even back then, there was a lot of advertisement for the more like sex sells kind of stuff, right? Even there, you still saw, like, especially if you were an orphan or whatever and were running around in the city and whatnot, you would see that side of the town, at least in your periphery. A normal child growing up in like a stable home would probably not see that, but you know. Or like when he's like, oh, I know your mother, there's like 50 of them. Like I wouldn't expect the like Milosh to comprehend what he is saying here and why his laughing would be cruel, right? So maybe I'm underestimating him. It's really hard to kind of gauge the intelligence of a child, right, on that level. Like, especially since there's so much development from year to year on children, right? Like on a cognitive level. But yeah, that is the part of it that didn't connect with me that well, and that where I would have been like, yeah, I mean, obviously that would damage the child a lot. It would hurt him. It would make him upset and sad and despair maybe. But like I wouldn't. It's almost like he's in a trance, right? He's being hypnotized, and he's suddenly like in that weird, like almost too clear of a mindset of like just analytical. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna off myself, right? Stuff like that. It feels too artificial to me, unless we want to suggest that Johann actually has hypnotic powers here, and or is using hypnosis in some way, or is like has like supernatural ability to convince somebody to do things they wouldn't otherwise do, right? And as much as we know he's a master manipulator, he's getting under your skin, he's got like that emotional lockdown on you. I don't believe it. And maybe that's the failure of the episode, of the direction of the episode, to actually make me believe it. But I don't believe it. Either way, we follow up on this. Really cool how we have that like top-down view as he's talking about his like life experience with like marrying and like never feeling emotions really, and his son dying. I still don't know how his son died. He was not breathing. Why was he not breathing, right? Did he have a disease? Did he like do something, right? Like he was just lying there not breathing. Why? How? Right? That doesn't just happen. I'm sorry. It doesn't just happen. Okay? That's not normal. But yeah, I like how we direct us from like a shot perspective, like the top down shot was like a little bit fisheye, and we have Tenma at the window in the shot, well, the little light reflection on the table being really cool, a really cool element of the frame. It's really weird how we're just standing on that road, and you like run down that road, you'll find a town, but it's like, what? Okay, dude. Okay. But yeah. Some nice frames here as well, right? When we see him, big head, right? Like everything, like the entire shot revolves around the head kind of deal. And that, I mean, that is fucked up, not gonna lie. Bro is like living out his darkest kinks right here. Yeah, I don't know. I guess he gets a kick out of that, doing that in front of a child. I have no idea, dude. Giving him like the 500 was like, holy shit, dude. Can you not? Can you not? Also love the eerie green lighting here in the alleyway, and how he's in the darkness. But yeah, even, I mean, how much would he comprehend of what's happening there? Obviously, it would maybe disturb him, especially if her reactions are more like on the uncomfortable and hurting kind of side, right? But how much of that would be comprehended, right? Like two strangers that he doesn't know in an interaction in some way, right? Even if it's rough, even if it's the first time he's like exposed to sexual stuff. Like, obviously that might do long-term damage, but it's not like, right? And I don't think, I mean, maybe it's the times back then that back then it was still the idea that as soon, like, exposing children to sex would be something that disturbs them. Now, obviously, if it's happening to them, it disturbs them deeply, right? And even, like, I do acknowledge that when you see it, it might be something, especially if it's like an interaction that is not quite 100% consensual. I mean, that wasn't a rape or anything, but it was like, at the very least, what we saw here was like a business interaction where like the prostitute was not really too happy about the circumstances at which this is happening, right? But and you would obviously pick up the social cues of the roughness, of like the maybe the woman hurting a little bit, maybe the woman being not okay with it, right? But like, again, it would long term disturb him, but I don't know what the immediate impact would be on that. I don't think you would be quick enough to like process that completely. Right? That is kind of like an oversaturation kind of moment where later on you're like, shit. Again, like, right, I processed that over years kind of deal. And not like immediately leading to this moment. But yeah, regardless of how we set up this shot, we have the stakes, right? We have the kid, right? Almost, and maybe not even having the real intention, but more being like feeling wise drawn to it or whatever. Love that shot, like I said, like the railing in front, like the stone railing in front of the metal railing, and we have him bending over here. It's a really, really nicely set up shot, in my opinion. And he hugs him, get this, like, and he has a visual or emotional reaction to it, because in that moment, I guess he immediately empathizes and understands how the kid feels, because that is directly related to his personal experience. So he's telling him, but maybe also himself, there is a reason you exist. Somebody wanted you. And Tenma kind of, that heartwarming reaction, of course, because he sees that this is also something very crucial for Grimmer himself, right? For his personal in the context of his personal backstory as well. Him actually having that reaction, crying, because he didn't fake crying. He asked, what expression do I have right now? Because he didn't even really realize what was happening here. At least not on a completely conscious level. And that is something that I like that moment. I love that moment, really. But the stuff leading up to it, I was kind of like a little bit disconnected from that. And I don't know what exactly that is, aside from what I already said, right? But yeah, it didn't connect with me. One of the first times that happened here in Monster. The way it was set up, the way it was like followed through, the reaction of the child itself kind of felt a little bit artificial to me. But yeah, doesn't change like the principal fact of the story, right? That we had a child, and Johan tried to make it believe that it wasn't, that he wasn't wanted, that nobody wanted him, that there was no reason for him to live. I think in one of the appeals that you can definitely say is like, boy, Milos, you got friends, okay? You got friends to live for, right? All the other kids, the orphans. You're out and about in the street, you're having fun. Enough reason to live, right? People to like, people to grow up with, to a degree, right? Keep in contact with. It's gonna be fine, my dude. It's gonna be fine. I mean, I guess one of the main reasons I didn't believe it was just a stark contrast, because he was such a bright boy. If he was like depressed in like from the get-go, right, and he was kind of like apprehensive and then like in like in a bad mindset to begin with, it would probably have been a lot more believable to me to see this reaction go from like sad and already like downtrodden to actual apathy. But like that switch from like just bright-eyed naive boy to absolute apathy was too stark a contrast for me to actually believe that transition within less than a day, with just a couple of events being witnessed that are admittedly harsh, of course, harsh realities that he might not have been exposed to in the past. But yeah, that was Monster episode 49. I do hope you enjoyed it. I did. For the most part, I did. Like, for the most part. Shout out to FBI for sponsoring Monster originally. Like the first couple of episodes. Wouldn't want it any other way. Couldn't imagine me not reacting to this series at this point in time. I'll see you next time.